Dra Gibbs-Lawhorn has entered the transfer portal. He announced it yesterday on his Twitter account. It's the most unsurprising thing of this entire, well, maybe the second most unsurprising thing from the Illini offseason. I think the most unsurprising thing for sure was Kerry Booth entering the transfer portal, and I believe committed to Colorado State yesterday. So a lot of moving parts from this Illini roster. Dra Gibbs-Lawhorn, I have thoughts on him as an Illini, and I'm going to give him a nice salute in this video and just kind of talk about some of my favorite moments and in that. So stick around. Hit the like button on the YouTube video for me. It would really appreciate it, and it helps other Illini fans find the video. So Dra Gibbs-Lawhorn, he tweeted yesterday, Illini Nation, thank you for everything these past 2 years. This decision was an easy one to make for my career, but a hard one to make in the fact that this place feels like family, and it always will be to me. I've experienced things in the past 2 years that I would have never believed if you told me 5 years ago. Thank you guys for everything, and it's family forever with the ILL in the caps. My love for this community will always remain. As for my guys, good luck, and I'm looking forward to the future success of this program. It's all love. Shout out to DGL, man. Shout out to DGL. One of my favorite Illini who maybe perhaps will look back and say, man, maybe we just didn't unlock this guy. And in many ways, I kind of hope we do, because I've been sitting on this YouTube channel, podcast feed, wherever you're listening to this. I've been sitting here for the last 2 years saying that we needed to play this kid more. And I do think that at certain parts of this season, especially in year 2, Brad Underwood did kind of lean on him during the meat of the Big Ten season, especially, late December, early January through early February. So a good month and a half, you can maybe say. And I think he had some nice games in, non-conference. He always had huge games against Eastern Illinois because I think his dad went there. And I think he said that post-game one time. But I'm rooting for him. I'm rooting for Dra Gibbs-Lawhorn to go on and have a stellar rest of his college career. And I think the reason, when he says in his tweet, this is an easy one to make for my career, he's exactly right, because Illinois isn't prioritizing him. He needs to become a better shooter. I think he's shooting below 30% from the three-point line these last 2 years, right? I personally don't know if he's a high major guy. I think he would really thrive if he, went lower, went to like an A10 school or Missouri Valley maybe, or something like that. I do think he would really thrive. But I also think if you put him in a role that really benefits him, he could still thrive in the high major. But the numbers say, that he really wasn't that great in the Big Ten, right? Yeah, he had some nice moments in the NCAA tournament, the Elite Eight season. And this year, he played well in the Big Ten for a month and a half or so. The last 8 to 10 games of the season, though, not great, right? I don't know where he's going to go. But to me, and I just talked about this on my video related to Merez Johnson committing to Michigan, to me, the transfer portal is perfect for guys in the situation of Dra Gibbs-Lawhorn. I do not blame him for entering the transfer portal. I actually support him entering the transfer portal because I do not think Illinois should prioritize him in terms of being a top 3 option on this team going into his junior season. And I do not think that he is a starter in the Big Ten. I personally just don't think that. I think he is a great bench piece at this level. I think that he brings a ton of energy. I think he is a plus defender, but he lacks size. and his shooting is inconsistent. Now, if you put him in a more prominent role where he knows that he's going to get this many shots and he's going to be able to be more of an on-ball guy on the offensive side of the court, perhaps those numbers increase. And if whoever he goes to, perhaps I could look really wrong about a lot of this. But in the 2 years at Illinois, while I do think he deserved to play more, there were also games where he did play where he just did nothing. And if he didn't hit a shot, then you knew he wasn't going to give you anything that night. But he also had games where he'd go out there and cook. I thought he was great at getting downhill. I thought he was great at, creating off the dribble and getting shots off for someone who, in my opinion, lacks size at the Big Ten level. I just think that he is a really, really good bench player at the college basketball level. That's what I think that he is. But I hope, in many ways, I hope that I'm wrong about that next year and beyond. I really do. I really do. So I'm wishing him well. And even if he stays if he somehow stays in the Big Ten, right? If he stays in the Big Ten, I'll be scared about a DGL revenge game for sure, because I'm sure this kid, worked really hard and did everything he could to earn more minutes, and it just didn't go his way. But I also think he was such a culture guy and he was such a program guy, right? I think he gave everything to Illinois that he possibly could. And it sucks for a fan like me. It sucks to not see him really get rewarded. His reward was some nice moments. The dunk against Ohio State this year, and then his reaction, after he's fired up, he just looks like a mad, crazy man, right? That's one of my favorite DGL moments. A few of the shots that he hit against Morehead State and Duquesne in the NCAA tournament last year. I think it was against Indiana, not this past season, but the season before. Illinois offensively just was absolutely atrocious that day. DGL comes in, provides a spark, right? He would just have his games. I don't think it would have changed over the next 2 years if he would have stayed, right? I don't think his role changes. So I think wherever he transfers, he's going to be told that you are going to have a starting role or first man off the bench, come in and do your thing type role. I think he'd be a great number 1 or number 2 option if he went to mid-major. If he stays in the high major, I don't know if much changes for him in terms of role. Who knows? But I do know if he does stay in the high major, he's got to improve as a shooter or he's going to find himself on the bench. That's just the fact of the matter. But he's also got to be given the opportunity. There are too many games in his tenure at Illinois where he played less than 5 minutes in a game. And I just feel like his energy he would bring off the bench was worth more than less than 5 minutes. So I think Brad deserves some blame for not unlocking him, but I also feel like he has his own stuff. So I'll give him a ton of credit for the class that he displayed. We all know the stuff related to his mom tweeting on Twitter or on Facebook, whatever. And we all know that he was once a commit to Purdue. So there's that whole saga. It is what it is. I will personally be rooting for him. So I'm sending him best of luck. DGL Illini legend. And again, part of the Elite Eight team, the first one in 20 years. So, or 19 years, whatever it was. First one since 04-05. And he will always be remembered as being part of that team. So a salute to Dra Gibbs-Lawhorn. I'm wishing him nothing but the best. And yeah, man, I think that pretty much sums it up. All right. Hit that like button for me on this video. See you in the next one. And ILL.